welcome back to 4th and Troll Fantasy.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4th and Trollers, welcome back to 4th and Troll Fantasy, the most entertaining fantasy football show on the planet. And I'm Wes Selby. You probably figured out it's just me. That's all right. Noah's on a little trip. That's fun. It's the holidays, so it's still me, and it's still time to get you into the playoffs. If you're watching this video, I'm so proud of you. Because a lot of people, they just give up. They quit. They're not ready to commit. They don't know if it's going to work out. Not you. Even if you're in the playoffs, you still want to make sure you get the best seeding possible. You want to try to go for the first round bye, or you just want to make sure your opponents don't get some of these potential playoff heroes. That's what we're talking about. The best waiver wire options going into the final week of the fantasy football regular season. It's here. That's crazy. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Tell me how much you liked your Thanksgiving in the comments down below and subscribing. Tell me how much you liked your Thanksgiving by subscribing and then liking the video and sharing it with your grandma or your aunt. Share this video with your favorite aunt and have your aunt comment their name so we can hang out with your aunt. Is that weird? No, because we're all family here. Okay, let's jump into this. Let's start with quarterbacks. If you haven't been part of the show before, that's interesting. A little late, but we're glad you're here. Better late than never. I am going to talk about some of the quarterbacks that are the hottest names from the waiver wire press going into week 14. The number one quarterback waiver wire option is obviously going to be Joe Burrow just because he's not 100% roster. People gave up from a really bad injury. They said, no thanks, I'm going to drop him. And so he's still less than 90% rostered according to Sleeper as of when I'm recording this video. So if he's available, he's obviously the number one waiver wire option for the quarterbacks. Now, for me, the number one quarterback waiver wire option, a quarterback I actually think has the best shot to be a top 5 quarterback every single week that is available, less than 55% rostered, is Jacoby Brissett. Now, real quick, as you can see, Noah does the graphics. He does the visuals for this show. He does a great job. So this is my best effort. This is my effort. I hope you like it. Next time it's gonna be even better than this video. You're gonna love it. Anyway, okay, so there it is. There's the guy. Here it is again. It's Jacoby Brissett, number one waiver wire option for the quarterback position because he has been a top 10 quarterback on the week for 5 straight weeks. That's unbelievable. And he has played 7 games, and he's been a top 10 quarterback 6 of those 7 games, again, including a 5-game streak being a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. In fact, every single week he's been a starter for the Cardinals. He's been top 12 every single week. I don't know if there really is a quarterback that I can guarantee is going to do better than Jacoby Brissett. I know it sounds silly because you're like, well, Josh Allen, of course, didn't do as well as Jacoby Brissett last week. That's a fact. So go check that out based on your format. Check the formats too. But they were the same. They did just as well as each other. If you're worried about Lamar Jackson, you're worried about Sam Darnold, not sure what Baker Mayfield is doing right now, you're not so sure you're going to be able to hold out in case, I don't know, maybe you're not sure Joe Burrow is really the guy. Who knows what it is? Jacoby Brissett is pretty damn good this year. Okay, last 2 guys I want to talk about for the quarterbacks is going to be stuff about Jaden Daniels. He's still available for a lot of teams. A lot of people still haven't picked up Jaden Daniels. He's worth having. I would still wait to start him, especially if you are in the playoffs, because if you made playoffs with whatever quarterback you have, I wouldn't rush to go throw in Jaden Daniels just because you don't know what his injury is like, but he's absolutely worth rostering. And then, of course, it's Tyrod Taylor. He is my next waiver wire option for week 14 because, hey, he's got rushing upside. He's still got some wheels. He's still getting the football in the end zone, whether it's to Adonai Mitchell or to anyone but Breece Hall, it feels like. I know he had a rushing touchdown, but I'm not biased. I got Breece Hall in 3 leagues. Of course I'm not biased. Anyway, Tyrod Taylor's a good option. Speaking of running backs, let's jump over to the running backs. Best options for the week. My number one waiver wire option. I'll say it again. I know it's not the sexy name, but the best option for week 14 to pick up is going to be Chris Rodriguez. He's still proving to be a starting running back. I know it's not attractive. You may be worried about starting him, but He is starting. He is starting right now, and that is huge. So for me, I do defer to him being kind of the lead back there for the Commanders. But then number 2 is going to be Blake Corum. I know you're probably most interested in picking him up. But again, he is still a handcuff option. He is still a guy that's going to be a vulture type running back, or he's going to be someone that maybe if Kyren Williams does miss time, which it does not look like he's going to miss time. Okay, I want to make that clear. It does not look like Kyren Williams is going to miss a lot of time. I still think Blake Corum's worth having because if he does miss time, Blake Corum can probably be in your starting lineup, even in the playoffs, even in the championship round if you make it there. So just keep that in mind. Of course, Kamani Vidal is worth monitoring, but we know that Amarian Hampton is really close to getting back into the lineup. So I'm not going to defer to Vidal just yet, but I will just mention it's worth having Jordan Mason in your team because he is a starting running back and he's been underwhelming. But I will just point out that he's got probably the best option or best opportunity to get the football a number of times, and that's really important for someone that is a starter for a team that has a really rough quarterback situation, whoever it's going to be. I do think Jordan Mason is worth having. Okay, let's jump over to the wide receivers. Jumping into week 14. I'm clicking on my little mouse here. That's right. Fourth wall break. I don't care. I've got a big old screen in front of me so I can give you all the advice possible. Number 1 waiver wire option. It's Mike Evans, who is available in a lot of leagues. I'm going to click with my mouse here so you know that I'm clicking for you. Right now, Mike Evans is less than 60% rostered. I want to confirm that because it sounds insane. But people dropped him. They just said, I'm done. You're probably done for the year. I don't want to wait. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to take up an IR spot all season long. I don't blame you, especially when Agbuka was doing as great as he was at the start of the year. But if Mike Evans is back on that field, man, I'm starting him. I'm just going to say it. I'm starting Mike Evans. If he is on the football field, I don't care who I have. That's not true. There are obviously some wide receivers I'd much rather start than Mike Evans. But Mike Evans is going to be one of the very best flex options if he touches the field, and better late than never, because who knows what his future is like for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or even the NFL in general. And I think Mike Evans is going to have one last really good few games if he gets to touch the field one more time. So he's my number 1 waiver wire option. I'm just going to say right there. I do like probably the hottest name for the wide receivers. That's going to be Adonai Mitchell. I think it's interesting to see what he's been able to do, kind of acting as the wide receiver 1 in place of Garrett Wilson. I mentioned Tyrod Taylor. Here's the thing. The Jets have an incredibly soft schedule. They've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got the Miami Dolphins. Sorry, they got the Dolphins next, then the Jaguars, and then the Saints, and then the Patriots to close out for the championship. But those next 3 matchups are really, really good for Tyrod Taylor and Adonai Mitchell. So I've got Mitchell as the number 2 best waiver wire option for wide receivers. I do see that Terry McLaurin is available for a lot of people. Obviously, go check to see if he is an option. But really, I'm going to just emphasize something or a name that Noah mentioned last week, and it's going to be Jaden Higgins. Really make sure that Jaden Higgins is available, 40% rostered across the leagues, which is someone that you should keep an eye out for as a potential playoff hero, the way that he is starting to heat up with CJ Stroud. I think he's going to be a phenomenal option. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the tight end position. There's really one guy, okay? We can talk a lot about different tight ends for the week 14 in playoffs, and it's based on your league. Some people might really just like the name value. They might like the youth. They might like, who did the best last week. I've seen Harold Fannin Jr. just drop in and out as the most out of player, most dropped player, most out of player, most dropped player. And it just is really difficult for the tight ends this year. Brock Bowers has stormed his way back into the top 10 after missing like half the season, I felt like. And that's just how difficult it is to find a really good tight end. So the only tight end that I truly believe is worth mentioning for me going into the final week of the fantasy football regular season is going to be Darren Waller. Just check to see if he is available because we know what his upside is. He only had 2 catches last week. One was a really long 30-yard completion, but I think he's the only other tight end that has any opportunity to get close to 20 points because that's what he was doing those first 2 weeks that he was playing for the Dolphins. And now it's definitely without Tyreek, which is what he had in those first few games. So I think Darren Waller is the only tight end I'm going to mention. That is it. Hey, Thanks for watching this video. Thank you and your aunt for watching this video. Very grateful that you're still checking us out and trying to get advice for the finale of the fantasy season. Make sure that you leave comments down below. Hey, aunt, what was your favorite part of this 4th and Troll video? And also, head over to our Discord. You and your aunt can check us out on our Discord. Link is in the description down below. We'll answer any kind of questions, and we'll be able to talk more in the off season as well. We'll start getting into the hype once we get into the 2026 type of content. But for now, I'm Wes Selby, and this has been 4th and Troll Fantasy.